Hello friends, welcome to another weekly top-down analysis video on the gold and GJ. So as usual, we are going to start our analysis with the monthly time frame, and then we will go down to lower time frames, weekly, daily, 4 hour and 30 minutes time frame. So without wasting any time, let's get started. And first of all, we are going to start with the gold monthly time frame. So on the gold, we can see that okay, so on the gold we can see that we have rejections in this area. So basically, the prices, we can see that rejected this area, rejected this area, rejected this area, and now we can see that we have created a resistance here, and now we have created one more resistance here in this area on the monthly time frame, right? So what we can say right now, we are going to say that, okay, so we have like, let's get it here. So we have this monthly resistance right here, which is below this previous resistance, right? And also we have a support right here, right? So we can see that we have a support right here, and there is another support right here, and then more support to the downside, right? So we know this is the situation on the monthly time frame. Also, we can see that the current monthly candle is open, basically, which has created the top wick. And right now the candle is going to the downside. Also, we can see that, the last monthly candle has left a wick. So basically we have wick to fill, for the current monthly candle. And one more thing we can see on the monthly time frame, that if we get a monthly candle close below this support, we have this support, right? So if we get a monthly candle close below this support, and we know that we have a clean range on the left hand side until this area, so in that situation it's going to be a pretty high probability for the next monthly candle to drive down at least to the next support, which is right here. And if we get a further close below that support, then there is going to be higher probability for the price to go down to the go down and retest the more support. So that is something on the monthly time frame. Now let's go to weekly time frame to find out more details what is happening on the weekly time frame. By looking at the weekly time frame, we can see that the price is bearish because we are making lower lows and lower highs. So we can see, starting from the top, we can see that we created a low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and then the price came up, created a resistance which is lower than the previous resistance. So we are making lower high. So basically the price is trending to the downside. Also, we can see that we have this support right here, right? So we can see that we have this support right here, and we have the last weekly candle close bullish at the previous support. So as we can see, the last time we had the bullish candle close, so we made this big move to the upside. So same thing we can anticipate this time here as well. So like if the next weekly candle basically open up, come down, retest this area, or this support and grab some liquidity, then there is going to be higher probability for the price to come and retest these highs here, which is going to be the immediate resistance. And if somehow we get a closure above that weekly resistance, then there is going to be higher probability for the price to move to the next resistance, which is right into this area. So that is something on to the upside. Now to the downside, basically if we close below the support, so like if we close, we know that we have this support, and next support is right here. So if we close below this support, there is going to be pretty high probability for the next candle to make the top wick and drive down to the next support. And somehow if we get a closure below that support, then there is more clean range to the left hand side, that we can see that we have clean range for the price to drive down. So that is something on the weekly time frame. Now let's go to a daily time frame to find more details what is happening on the daily time frame. Daily time frame also looks bearish because we are making lower lows and lower highs. So we can see that we created a low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, created a resistance, and right now price is moving to the downside. Also, we can see that we created a support here at the previous support area, right? And the next support is right into these areas. So we can see that, okay, we have this support. So here we can find that we have the previous support here, the same, at the same place we have this new support, and the next support is right into these areas, right? Also, if we look to the upside, we can find out that we have this basically we can see that we have this resistance, and so we have the last daily candle close above the resistance, right? So now the next resistance is right into these areas. So in this situation, I'm anticipating the next daily candle to open up, create the bottom wick, and we have this wick to fill. Also, we have clean range to the left hand side to drive up to the next resistance, which is right into these areas. So that is something to the upside. Now at the same time, if we get a candle, daily candle close below the support, then that will be a kind of fake out, and in that situation there will be higher probability for the price to drive down to the next support, which is right here. And again, if you get a candle close below this support, then we have more clean range on the left hand side to drive down to the next support, which is right here. So that is something on the daily time frame. Now let's go to a 4-hour time frame to find what is happening on the 4-hour time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, we can see that the price is bearish because we are making lower lows and lower highs. So as we can see, starting from the top, we created a low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and lower high, which is we are still below the previous high. So we are making lower lows and lower highs on the 4-hour time frame as well. And if we talk about the support and resistances, then we can see that so like we have this support right in here. So as we can see, we have support, 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 and support. So this one is going to be pretty strong support. And if we talk about the resistance, we can see that this one is a resistance. So like we can see that we have this resistance, 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 and resistance. So it's a pretty strong support and resistance. Okay, so now what we can anticipate how, and the next support is right here as well. So in terms of looking for the trading opportunity, so we can see that, okay, if we get a 4-hour candle basically close above this resistance, so if we get a 4-hour candle close above this resistance, we can see that we have a clean range on the left hand side until this resistance. So this can be our first target for the price to go higher, retest this resistance, and the next resistance is right here. So now we have more ranges for the price to drive to the upside. That is to the upside. Now to the downside, if we get a candle close below this support, right? So we know that, okay, we have a clean range on the left hand side. So in that situation, it's going to be a pretty high probability for the price to drive down to the next support, which is right into these areas. So that is something on the 4-hour time frame. Now let's go to 1 hour and 30-minute time frame to find more details what is happening on the let's directly jump to the 30-minute time frame. So on the 30-minute time frame, we can see that the price is currently making higher highs and higher lows. We are kind of bullish on the 30-minute time frame. So we can see that we created a high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So we are kind of making higher highs and higher lows at the moment. Also, we know that, okay, we have this strong resistance, which we saw on the 4-hour time frame as well. This was a resistance, right? So this was a strong resistance on the 4-hour as well. And if we get a 4-hour candle close, so we already discussed about that. If we get a 4-hour candle close above this resistance, we have the potential for the price to go to the upside. Now on the 30-minute time frame, we can see that if we talk about the support and resistance, so we know that, okay, we have this resistance, right? So we can see that we have this resistance and we have immediate support created by the price here. Now, by looking that, we can have some more detail that, okay, if we talk about this resistance, then we can see that, okay, we have resistance right here, resistance, then we have resistance, resistance, and support, and then we have resistance. So this is going to be a strong zone here. But if we talk about this support, then we can see that, little below that, we have another support, right? So maybe we can move this support a little bit to the downside to this area, because after that, we can see that, okay, once we get the candle close below this support, we drive to the downside at least to this support area, basically at least. So this one is going to be another strong support area. We can see here support, 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 and we have resistance, resistance. Okay, so what I mean to say here, so here basically we can wait for the candle to close below the support, like the last time. Last time we closed below, we made a move to the downside. So we have the potential for the price to go down to this support and maybe to this support. And below this, we have more clean ranges to the left hand side for the price to basically down, look like a drive to the downside. Now, if we look to the upside, we can also see that, okay, if we get a candle close basically above this resistance, so if we get a 30-minute candle close above this resistance, so same like last time here. So like as we can see, the last time we get the candle close, we made a move to the upside, right? Candle close, made a move to the upside. Candle close above, made a move to the upside. So same thing we can anticipate here. If we get a candle close, we have a potential for the price to drive to the upside. Also, we have the clean range on the left hand side. So that is something on the 30-minute time frame. Now let's go to our second pair, which is GJ, and start our analysis from the monthly time frame. So this is our second pair, which is GJ, and we are going to start our analysis with the monthly time frame. So GJ monthly time frame, we know that we are kind of bullish. So we can see that, okay, we are making higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, right? The price is pretty much bullish. We are making higher highs and higher lows here. And also we can see one more thing, that we have a support right here, and we have the resistance right here, right? So we can see that, okay, the last monthly candle close above this resistance, and we have the next resistance right into these areas. So we already rejected that area, and the current monthly candle is still open. So a lot will depends upon how the current monthly candle is going to close. If we get the current monthly candle basically close below this support, then we can see that we have a clean range on the left hand side until here, which is the weak fill, and below that again we have the clean range as well. So basically in that situation, if we get a candle close below this support, there is going to be higher probability for the price to drive down minimal to this weak fill, and then there is more clean ranges to the downside for the price to drive down, right? So that is something to the downside we see. And to the upside, so like if we get a monthly candle close above this resistance, so we know that the next resistance is right into these areas, right? So if we get a monthly candle close above this resistance, there is a pretty high probability for the price to drive to the upside to the next resistance, which is right here. So that is something on the monthly time frame. Now let's talk about what is happening on the weekly time frame. Weekly time frame is bullish. As we can see, price is making higher highs and higher lows. So we created a high, higher low. We broke the previous high, created a higher high. So we are making higher highs and higher lows. As we can see, price is very much bullish. Also, we can find out that we have this support, we have this resistance, and we have this support, and then we have this weak fill. This is another support. So we can see that the last weekly candle closed bearish below this support. So basically this is the move to the upside now has become a fake out, and we can see that we have clean range on the left hand side. So now what I'm anticipating the next weekly candle to open up, come up, retest this area and start moving to the downside. We have this weak fill and clean range to drive down to the next support, which is right here. And if we get a candle close below that support, then again we have more clean ranges to the downside for the price to drive down until this support, and we have more clean ranges to the downside. So that is something to the downside. Now to the upside, let's check what is happening, or basically where we have more resistances on the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, we know that this one is a resistance, and then here we have more resistances, right? So these are the resistances on the weekly time frame. So what happens here if we get a weekly, so like if the next weekly candle kind of closes above this resistance, then there is a higher probability for the price to drive to the next resistances something like this. Okay, so that is something on the weekly time frame. Now let's go to daily time frame to find out more details. So daily time frame is also bullish, like from the market structure point of view, we can see that we are bullish because we are making higher highs and higher lows, right? So we are anticipating something like that. But by looking more closely, we can also find some more details here, and we can see that we have this support here, and the next support is right here, right? And to the upside, we can see that we have this resistance right here, right? So now what we saw here, we found out that okay, we have this support. So here we have the last daily, so this daily bearish, basically this bearish daily candle closed below this support, and the last daily candle closed weak bullish candle with a small body, but we still stays below this support. We can also see that we have a clean range on the left hand side. So now what I'm anticipating the next daily candle to do, I'm anticipating the next daily candle to open up, retest this area, and once we break the low of the previous daily candle, this weak bullish candle, so we are going to drive down to the next support, which is right into these areas. And once we close below that area, there is more probability for the price to go down. At the same time, to the upside, we can see that if the price close back into the range, basically if we close above this resistance, right? So we can see that historically, last time we closed, we made a move to the upside, close, we made a move to the upside. Here we close above this level, we made a move to the upside. So something like that, we can anticipate that, okay, if we get close above this resistance, we have the price to move to the next resistance, which is right here. Also, we have a pretty clean range on the left hand side. So that is something we anticipate on the daily time frame. Now let's go to the 4-hour time frame to find more details. 4-hour is looking bearish as we are making lower lows and lower highs. So we can see that on the 4-hour time frame, we are making lower highs, right? So price is basically going to the downside. We are making lower lows and lower highs on the 4-hour time frame. So we can say lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Now anticipating the price to retest this support created, right? So if we mark our support and resistances on the 4-hour time frame, we can see that this one is a support, and then there is another support. So we can see here we have another support pretty close by, so we will move our support to that area. So now if we get a 4-hour candle basically close below this support, then there is a higher probability for the price to drive down to the next support, which is right here. Also, we have a clean range on the left hand side, right? That is something to the downside. At the same time, if the price made a pullback, again, I'll be waiting for the price to create a resistance to retest this new low created. So because we are bearish, so that is something I'm anticipating and looking on the 4-hour time frame. Now let's go to 1-hour time frame to see what is happening. So 1 hour is also bearish, as we can see, we are making lower lows and lower highs. So we can see that we made basically a low, lower high, and lower high. Also, we are making new lows. So we are pretty much bearish, and right now the price is coming down, and I'm anticipating the price to retest this low, as I mentioned on the 4-hour time frame as well. Now let's jump to 30-minute time frame to see if we can find out some entries as well. So now on the 30-minute time frame, we can see that this one is a support, and we have another support, and then there is more support, and then I'm anticipating this one is a resistance, right? So now because the price is bearish and I'm anticipating the price to go down, so we can see that if we get a candle close, basically 30-minute candle close below this support, then we can see that we have clean range on the left hand side. So in that situation, there is going to be a higher probability for the price to drive down to the next support, and if you get a further close below that support, there is going to be a higher probability for the price to go to the next support as well. That is something to the downside. At the same time, if we get a candle close above this resistance, so historically, if we just try to see what happened in the past, so we close above this resistance, so or basically this area, we made a move to the upside. Here we close above this area, so we made a bounce. Here we close above this area, we made a bounce. Close above this area, we made a bounce. Every time we bounce off this area, so if we get a closure above this area, so we can anticipate the price to go to the next resistance, which is right here. Also, we have a pretty clean range on the left hand side. That is going to be one probability. At the same time, because the price is bearish and I'm anticipating the price to retest this area. So in this area, if we saw some kind of fake out, like the candle close above and the next candle just kind of close back into the range, basically close below this support, then in that situation, that will be a fake out that I will be looking for. And because we'll be having clean range on the left hand side, so I'll be anticipating the price to drive down to retest this support, because this is what I mentioned on the 4-hour, 1-hour, and 30 minutes. So that's it, guys. This was the analysis on the gold and GJ from the monthly to the 30 minutes time frame. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you really did like the video, share the video and subscribe to the channel in order to support the channel and YouTube algorithm. Thank you very much. See you in another video.